Have you ever had that sinking feeling that nobody really cares? Not just strangers, even people you thought were close, family members who rarely check in, friends who disappear when life gets difficult, colleagues who move on as if nothing happened. And there you are, wondering if anyone even notices what you're going through. It's a lonely feeling, not because you're physically alone, but because you feel unseen, unimportant, forgotten. You start noticing things: who calls and who doesn't, who asks how you're doing and who never does, who shows up when life is good, and who quietly disappears when life becomes difficult. And if you're not careful, that loneliness starts telling you a story. Maybe I don't matter, maybe I'm not important enough, maybe people don't value me. But here is something worth remembering: people's silence is not always a measure of your worth, sometimes it is a measure of their limitations. Some people don't know how to deal with pain, some avoid difficult conversations, some are uncomfortable around grief, illness, failure, or emotional struggles, and some people are simply too absorbed in their own lives. None of that makes the loneliness easier, but it does change the meaning. The Bhagavad Gita repeatedly reminds us not to build our entire sense of self and how others respond to us. Because if your value depends on how much attention, care, or validation you receive, your peace will always be in someone else's hands. The painful truth is that difficult times often reveal reality. They show who is genuinely present, who cares, who was only around when things were convenient. Yes, that realization can break illusions, and sometimes it hurts deeply, but broken illusions also create clarity. You begin to understand that your worth was never determined by the number of people checking on you. Your value does not decrease because someone failed to see it. And perhaps the hardest lesson of all is this: sometimes life leaves you alone for a season, not to punish you, but to help you discover a strength that doesn't depend entirely on other people. That doesn't mean you stop loving people. It doesn't mean you become cold. It simply means you stop measuring your importance by their attention. Because the day you stop asking, why don't they care about me, and start asking, how can I care for myself through this, something begins to change. The loneliness may not disappear overnight, but the sinking feeling slowly loses its grip, and in that quiet space, you begin to find something stronger than validation, self respect, inner strength, and the realization that their worth was never up for debate.